In this video, we'll see whether someone like myself should buy a house, rent that out, pay the mortgage, and let real estate grow, and build equity, and see how much that will grow and how much it will return. For that, I'm living in Ottawa, Ontario, so I did analysis for this market. A typical house in reasonable, like 30-minute drive from downtown, that is approximately 500,000, which I assumed, which is based on market data. Mortgage amortization period is approximately 25 years. Typical fixed interest rate is 6.5% these days, and mortgage insurance is 4%. So there are basically number of expenses which people don't tell. For example, if we are getting mortgage, then mortgage insurance, that is typically 4%. That is this much. Likewise, if we are paying 5% down payment for 500,000, that will be 25,000. Likewise, lawyer fee, registration fee, title insurance fee, that is approximately 0.3%, $1,500. Land transfer fee, 1.3%, approximately 6,500. Inspection, appraisal fee, these are other fees which most of people they don't tell us. They just uh, encourage us, go ahead, buy a house, but these are hidden fees which everybody pays. uh, and then that means even if we are paying only 25,000 in down payment, we would have to come up with the net cash of at least $31,520, including down payment, plus minus something, could be less than 1%, which due to calculation errors or due to some other random factors. So at the end, net mortgage amount and insurance amount and rebate adjustment, that will be 494,000. This 494,000 is because although we are paying 25,000 in down payment, this mortgage insurance becomes part of mortgage. So 475 plus 19,000, this one, that makes it up to 494,000. Then begins the story. Uh, we could be pay annual payment for mortgage or bi-weekly. For this analysis, we can adjust that in that calculator, whether we want to pay 12 or 26. Let's say here we see 12, and interest rate for each installment is approximately this much, um, because it's for each installment, so monthly basis, that's why it is less than 6.5. Basically, this is effective interest rate. Total number of installment for 25 years, that will be 300, and periodic monthly payments will be this much. How I calculated periodic monthly payments and all rest of the calculations, I will bring you to this detail. Uh, Total payments, this many, that is this much amount, and I calculated based on this. Principal payment, uh, principal payment is based on this formula, and our outstanding loan balance is also like this. So for example, even if we are paying $3,335 per month, uh, out of that, only $650, $60 approximately will go to our capital amortization, and whopping 2,700, almost $2,675 will be just any interest. So in the beginning, it means whatever we pay, that's more than, literally more than 75 to 80% just goes in interest, no equity, nothing. um, and yes, gradually interest amount starts decreasing penny by penny, $2, $3, $4, and our principal payments, they start amortizing our mortgage capital principal, and that keeps going on. But there is a one more thing. The money which we have today, that is way more powerful than what it would be 10 years, 20 years down the road. That's why they call that time values money. we should factor in that too. Uh, when I try to accommodate that too. I'll show you that too in the coming slides, rest of the video. Uh, Now, for example, we have approximately this much mortgage. This much is our mortgage monthly payment. Uh, this kind of house, which is we are considering for analysis, that is a typical condo house. It has condo fee, which is 0.8%, property tax annual in Ottawa area, that's typically 1% annual. Interior maintenance we have to do, whether it's at once in the beginning or gradually we spare and then do maintenance after few years, every few years. So typically they recommend 0.5% of the house value should go into the maintenance. House insurance and damage security, that's also 0.2%. These are small expenses which are easy to forget, not to record, but at the end they build up. Annual expenses, they are $52,526, including total mortgage, property tax, interior maintenance, condo fees, and all those. Now, if we are renting, we'll not be able to find the tenant all 100% of the time. So let's say I estimated that out of 12, we are able to find tenant for 11 months. That means we need required monthly rent 4,700. And for this kind of house, no one is going to pay. Maximum, let's say, we assume 3,300 our principal mortgage is covered in rent, which is also marginally high and kind of it's not average. Um, and remaining this much will go through from pocket every month. Uh, and this is which we are getting through rent. Uh, then I did inflation adjustment. The time when I did its analysis, inflation factor that was approximately this much inflation rate, and principal payout during mortgage period. That is, we already have seen that's this much, 494,000. So at the end, in a nutshell, if we calculate the values of present value of mortgage, total in present value of total mortgage which we pay throughout the period, that is almost equal to the price of house. 500,000 that will be mortgage payout throughout its period. In interest value paid out on that mortgage. Present value of interest will be approximately 415,000 because 80% of today's mortgage amount is just going to interest. That's why it is high. Present value of capital will be this much, and at the end, actual cost of the house in present value, which we are seeing only 500,000. That is not 500,000. That is 1.12 million dollars. It is not only 500. I want to repeat. It's on documents. Apparently, it looks it's for 500,000, but in present dollar value, it is not 500,000. It is 1.12 million dollar house uh, expense which we are paying. Now, people say, "Oh, we bought this house for 500,000 20 years ago, and today we are selling for 2 million." But when we see how that grows, I saw that real estate data from Ottawa real estate, and for 30 years, and typical house grew 3.5 to 4.5 times over the period of 30 years. I assumed that our typical house will grow 400% 4 times. Projected house price would be approximately 2 million of 500,000, 4 times of 500,000, and projected house price in present value will be 1.14 million. Total cost in today's value is 1.12 million. Total cost of value of the house after 25 years is 1.14 million. See, only 200,000 you are gaining not even 200, 20,000. It's only 23,000 which you are making. Uh, Now, if you question me how I calculated these ones, those were simple. This was our, like, even on any realtor website, if we see, if we plug in our number, that will give us overall this much will be mortgage payment. I took that, um, although I applied my own formulas, C9 if we see. Um, that was this much. I took capital, I, I accommodated our interest factor and then calculated that value. So from there, and these remain constant. From next, I applied these formulas, which we have seen, and I calculated present value of our principal, payout, interest payout, outstanding mortgage, and that is what I did for all 300 months payments, which are 25 years. So in a nutshell, $1.12 million house in today's actual value is actually $1.14 million house even 25 years from now. At the same time, if we see, there are some billionaires who became billionaire through real estate. It does not mean that the real estate is not profitable. There could be, but a typical narrative: buy a house, rent that out, covers the mortgage, build the equity, that is flop. There are many things which they don't tell. There are many hidden fees, hidden expenses which are not favorable. In comparative, we saw stocks market in another video, um, which shows typically in 25-year period that easily returns more than 10 times of inflation adjusted value. I hope you would have learned this something from this video. If you learned, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you.